So I'm going to talk about growing up in America and my true thoughts on it. As you know, I'm from there, and then I lived in Las Vegas, lived in Cali for a while, and I've been to like a quarter of all the states, met people from almost every state, so I have a grasp of what's going on. Plus, being from there and being raised there, you see how things are going. Now, I've been to 15, 16 countries now. It's great. I will say, for me personally, I don't hate America, so I don't want to get this confused. Like some people hear me say things in my videos, whatever. What I'm just saying is what I observed and what's the truth. So for example, what I mean by that is like you'll hear me talk about what's called like the food matrix. And what that is you may go to like Chipotle, McDonald's, Red Lobster, or you may go to a fancy place and you think you're eating different types of cuisines or from different suppliers, but there's really only a few big suppliers in the whole United States. So a lot of times you may think, hey, I'm doing the right thing, but even in that thought process, that may not be the right thing. So the food matrix is along those lines, and then it also talks about like how you go to a place, it's called organic. Hey, we got some organic food for you. You're like, yo, I want to eat healthy, let me get the organic. But not knowing they have organic pesticides that they can spray on the food and still label it organic. And then also another trick they get you with is the fact that it only has to be a certain percentage organic, right? So these are like trigger words because they know if people see organic, natural, truly, they're going to think it's, okay, this is the right thing. So that's the food matrix. That's a summarized version of it. There's more into it. But I'll save that for like a later video. I don't want to go too in depth. I want to stay on the subject matter. And for me personally, this is one of many examples as far as like the poisons that we're given and things of that nature. And this is why I personally may not live in America once I get more established, once I get older, once I set up my YouTube channel and other streams of income the way I want to set it up, because I'm looking at it from a long-term perspective, right? I want to grow somewhere where I'm healthy, but also the people around me are healthy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't dislike America. I still believe that it's the land of opportunity. I still believe that there's a lot of financial advantages you can get there that you may not have with any other country. Even me being born in a country that I'm taught English from a young age, and then speaking English, and then having that blue passport, that American passport, that can open certain doors for me that it may not open for someone who's from like Ghana, for example. You know what I'm saying? Like their passport's different. They're not from the same country, etc. They may not have as many advantages as me. And then if you take someone from like Brazil who physically may look like me, but just the fact that they speak Portuguese and I speak English is going to open me a lot of doors. So I'm very aware of my privilege, and I do try to humble myself, and I do try to be respectful of others and understand, hey, this person in front of me is not necessarily less intelligent than me or less of a good person than me. They're just born in a different country, or they have maybe a different background, and that difference may close certain doors for them, which is, I mean, it's kind of messed up, but it's, well, not kind of, it is messed up, but it's unfortunately kind of how the world works. So with all that being said, I do truly love America, but I want to clear up a few things that I've been seeing in the comment section, and then people asking me in real life and stuff like that. One, I am not a passport bro. I don't travel exclusively for women. Before I even knew what women were like that, I always wanted to travel. When I was in 3rd grade and I said I want to travel the world, I wasn't even looking at women. I wasn't even attracted to anyone. I just knew that, hey, I want to travel the world. This seems like a cool dream. I used to watch Anthony Bourdain, all these other guys, and then, you know, my dad would take me to Canada every couple years, so it just influenced me from a young age. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. The second thing in regards to that is, as far as America, I encourage everyone, if you have the ability, even if you don't want to stay long term, to at least check it out. It could open your eyes, maybe see certain things you couldn't see previously. And then also, me born in America is what got me here. So if I was born potentially in another country, I may not be here. So for me personally, I would like to think that America is changing for the better. You know, I don't want to go too much into politics, but this RFK guy is talking about banning certain foods, and for what I've seen, they allegedly banned the red dye 40, which was in a lot of candy, a lot of sweets, some chewing gum, right? So you think you're just chewing gum, but you're actually absorbing all these chemicals. It was in certain foods and products and services and stuff like that. So allegedly that's banned now. And then I've seen a lot of fast food chains, they see what's going on, so they're trying to get on it before, you know, they have to change. So a lot of fast food chains, I think I saw Chick-fil-A, I want to say I saw Wendy's and a few others said they're going to change the oils they use to cook the foods. So hey, that's a step in the right direction, right? Because a lot of times what they do is, you may think you're eating healthy. Like, let's look at Chipotle, for example, right? Chipotle says, hey, we get all of our ingredients locally. Hey, we don't use any preservatives. So you're like, oh, that's great. They got vegetables over there. They don't use preservatives. They allegedly don't use any type of chemicals, and they get all their food sourced locally. That's a win for me, right? So you go there thinking like you're winning, like I did before, but I noticed my stomach felt kind of funny sometimes. I'm like, okay, it shouldn't feel this way if I'm eating truly organic food. So next time I went over there, I'm looking at the back, seeing how they're cooking it, like, hold on, what they're doing, right? And what do I see? A box, and it says what type of oil they're using. I go to google.com, I type in this oil. This oil is known to cause heart issues. This oil is known to have digestive issues, stomach issues, etc. So I'm like, so that's what it is. So it may not necessarily be the food as much as it is the oil. So even if you go to Chipotle and say, let's say you only want the lettuce, you only want the rice, and maybe you get some chicken, right? You'd be like, okay, I'm eating healthy. I'm not even gonna get the tortilla thing or whatever it's called. But I'm here to tell you, you may not be eating healthy. The oil is what messes up. The oil is what's blocking your brain flow. It's what's altering your blood. There's a reason why kids nowadays are born with more medical conditions than ever before. This is not by chance. It's the food we are consuming. So this is what I talk about. So this is what I'm talking about when I say, okay, there's too much going on right now. I do love America. I was born and raised out there. I got family out there. I think we have a global influence that a lot of other countries don't have. I do believe it's an advantage to be born in America, so I'm not taking any of that away. But I need to see some true changes with the food system and a few other things to truly want to be like, okay, this is where I want to live forever. For me, it's like 80% the food and then 20% everything else. So if we get rid of that 80%, for me, honestly, it's good enough. So this is why you always hear me talk about Europe, because there is over 1,000 different chemicals and preservatives that we use in America that are banned in Europe. So when I go to Turkey, when I go to Spain, when I go to Germany, is it a coincidence? No, it's not a coincidence that I feel better, that I sleep better. It's because of food that we're putting in our body. So if this changes, I will be happy, honestly. I'll probably change the way I do the channel. I may live in America like 10 months out of the year and travel for 2 months, or I may just stay in America and just travel to the different cities and states and talk about those. But with the state of things right now, I don't see myself living in America permanently. But this can change. We're going to see what this new presidency can do and if we can eat organic foods. If anyone has any suggestions as far as how I can eat properly, let me know. When I was in Vegas a few months ago, I did happen to meet some people from local states like Utah, Arizona, etc., California, and they allegedly grow their own meats. So something like that could potentially be an option, right? Like, okay, if you know where the beef is coming from, if they're not adding anything to it, if you can see the real thing. But then again, now it comes back to trust. Do I trust this human being who's not, how do you say, this human being who does not have like a type of certification, or if it's not 100% official? You know what I'm saying? So I just don't want to make it. I'm even willing to pay a premium. Let's say my groceries are $500 a month. I'm willing to pay $800 a month just to eat cleaner. But it has to actually be clean, not no fake organic, fake natural. Don't know where it's coming from. Hit with 13 different chemicals and pesticides. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing when it comes to America. But like I said, y'all should still visit. I don't want to discourage anybody. Hopefully this video didn't scare anyone. But yeah, I look at y'all like family, like extended friends, like associates. So I like to share my thoughts with y'all. I'm gonna keep giving y'all this content. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Also hit the notification button, because if you don't hit the notification button, you won't be notified that I'm dropping content. What is a notification button? It's the one that looks like a bell. You have to click it, and then you'll be informed every time I drop content, whether I go live, post shorts, all that type of stuff. Lately I've been doing a couple lives, so I may want to keep this going up. But yeah, I hope y'all have an amazing day. Stay positive, stay in a good mindset, don't let anyone shake you up. Yeah.